Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. Now, if you were with us last week, we talked about The Funhouse, Toby Hooper's The Funhouse. If not, go back and watch that video, and you'll get a little bit more of what we're talking about in context of today. Today, we're going to be talking about The Funhouse. It's actually called Last House on a Dead End Street, but it also has more names that I'll get to as we go along this controversial view. This is actually also called the Fun House, the Fun Space House, which is why Toby Hooper's The Fun House ended up on the Video Nasties list. So now we know. But what's so controversial about Last House on a Dead End Street, aka the Fun House? Well, I'm going to get to that. But my history with this film is almost non existent. I was never really interested to seek out this film. It was always one that I didn't really care about until my friend Joe did a slashback on Last House on Dead End Street. Then I went down the rabbit hole to try to find it. Now, I'm going to give you some information. Vinegar Syndrome has a movie called Corrupted. It's either Corrupt or Corrupted. I'm pretty sure it's Corrupt. But as a special feature, since it's from the same director, they have a version of Last House on Dead End Street, which is the version that Joe and I watched. That's 78 minutes. Now, since I couldn't find a copy back then of Corrupt, what I did was I searched it out on YouTube and watched Last House on Dead End Street on YouTube. Unfortunately, all the good stuff was cut out. By the good stuff, I'm meaning the type of thing that would get you on the Video Nasties list. And this movie is the one that belongs on the Video Nasties list. Let me tell you. So let's talk about some of the other controversy with The Fun House. Get it? AKA Last House on a Dead End Street. AKA, if you're watching the hour and almost 3 hour movie, it's called The Cuckoo Clocks of Hell. And there's more. But let's start with, this film was made in 1972, but actually not released until 1977 because one of the girls who was in the movie tried to sue because of the naked video that the director took of her, even though she was more than willing when she was in college. Now, the director didn't even know that this movie got released in the theaters until 1979, when somebody came up to him on the street and recognized him from the film, because he not only wrote it, he directed it and acted in it as well. It's pretty bad. None of the cast used their real names, and this was one of the reasons why he didn't even know that it had gotten released. The original version was 175 minutes. Now, that's not all that unusual, as I'm coming to find out in my life, because movies that I've loved, like Phantasm, have a 2.5 hour original. The Keep, which is a movie that I absolutely love, was almost 3 hours before it was cut down to almost nothing. There's a lot of movies out there that have started very long, but became very short. But the difference between Last House on Dead End Street, which is 78 minutes, and The Cuckoo Clocks of Hell, which is 175 minutes, is the fact that there is a print of this in New York in a film laboratory that is still there. I myself would be very curious to what they put in it because basically the distributor cut this movie down to an hour and 18 minutes long because they felt the film was overindulgent and unnecessary. But we don't always agree. We know this by now. Now it was named the Cuckoo Clocks of Hell in reference to Kurt Vonnegut's book Mother Night, and that's the 175-minute version. Because people didn't use their real names, people thought that it was a real snuff film, and it had been shot by the Mexican Mafia. I thought that was really interesting. And it does look real in some instances. It does. It looks very raw. And I think that's why people really mistook it for something real. All of the rumors led to the word of mouth about this film. How do I explain this film? This film is not a great film. This film is an interesting film that I happen to like. A lot of people will not like it because it's very mixed. It's very scattered. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Messy. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that it was cut down from 175 minutes. So we can blame the distributor for that one. Okay. This is also known as I said, the House of the Dead of Our Death. The House of Our Death, yes. The Cuckoo Clocks of Hell, and the Fun House. Now, rumors that the original Grindhouse place in New York that this was originally shown at burned down because when they showed this film, everybody went crazy and a riot happened and burned the place down. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. I have nothing to support it otherwise. It could have happened, but chances are it probably did. This has a very simple premise. This is about a guy who gets out of jail and decides he wants to make snuff films in order to make money. And he uses an abandoned warehouse, building, if you will, as a place to do this. Now, the people that were in this film were actually students. They were film students and actors and actresses that were in college. And all the ones that got naked, which were pretty much all of them, I think, were more than willing. Why that one ended up suing years later, I have no idea. Like I said, this is available on YouTube, but the one that I saw had cut everything out of it. All the nudity, all the gore, a lot of it was cut. I know this is on Tubi. I have not watched it on Tubi, so I don't know if the gore is intact. But if you can find a 78-minute cut of this that has the gore and the nudity, I can't recommend it to anybody because it is messy. But I do like this film. So, like Joe says, we watch it so you don't have to. But don't forget to check out Joe's controversial view for The Fun House, aka Last House on a Dead End Street. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time, peace.